Good morning, or I guess it could be anytime when you're watching these videos, but morning from me. So we are going to be talking about devotion and psychotherapy and honestly a very personal belief about why I feel like healing isn't complete without devotion. So, psychotherapy has been through many waves. I cannot fit all of the waves in this video, but I wanted to go over kind of three big ones. And each one has revealed something really essential about what it means to be human. So, we began with, Mr. Freud, who really focused on conflict, on the ways that the psyche protects itself, and it had so much good in it, actually, but there was this kind of implicit belief underneath that something needed fixing, that there was maybe something broken or bad about us. And then there was Carl Rogers, who came around, who shifted the field toward compassion, toward unconditional positive regard, and I have it tattooed on my wrist because apparently if you don't get it tattooed on your body, you'll forget. So I've got, just a monologue on here about, what to remember. Anyways, he had this radical idea that human beings are inherently oriented towards goodness if given the right conditions. From there, the field widened again. It had this huge revolution. Think Bessel van der Kolk, Peter Levine, really bringing in the body and a recognition that healing isn't just cognitive or emotional, but physiological. Also think polyvagal theory, Ariel Schwartz, I love you. I just saw you speak at Shivananda, huge fan. And that we have to attend to this system, to this body, if we want to be well, if we want the world to be well. And each wave didn't replace the last. So it included, we went from mind, we went into heart, we went into body. And, now I'm really finding myself wondering what's next. And I believe that the next wave is about turning towards something even deeper, what I call the soul. Although language really fails us in this realm, soul might not be the right word for you. Maybe it's inner goodness, maybe it's a sense of belonging to something larger, maybe it's oneness, maybe it's God, maybe it's, I think Tara Brach, she says, her beloved. And, throughout history, spirituality, religion have largely been kept on the edges of psychotherapy. And there is actually very, very good reasons for why that is. Concerns around safety, around power, around dogma, around harm. Think cult. But I think that, in trying to protect the field, we may have also exiled something really essential. And, for me, God doesn't look like doctrine. It looks like great outdoors, G-O-D. It looks like awe and reverence and worship, a really deep knowing that that I am a part of something greater and not separate. It looks like the feeling of being small in something vast and somehow deeply held by this same vastness. Devotion, devotion is defined as a sustained orientation of care and love and attention towards something we recognize as meaningful, greater than, or deeply worthy of our time and energy. And I don't see that as separate from healing. I just don't. I see it as a part of it. Because when we only work with the mind or even just work with the body, but ignore the deeper orientation toward meaning, connection, and devotion, we may touch on symptoms, but we really miss the root of suffering. And I go in much more deeper in another video as to this root of suffering, pulling on some Buddhist psychology. So if you are curious about why I believe devotion has a place in psychotherapy and how that connects to suffering, I'd recommend that video. I'll link it in here. So we've learned how to work with the mind. We've learned how to tend to the body. But healing may ask something more of us. Not just awareness, not just regulation, but a real deeper orientation to what it means to be alive. Because the truth is, at a certain point, healing stops being separate from devotion. From what I have witnessed within myself, what I have witnessed within hundreds of other people, that if you stay on this path of self-curiosity, of wanting to turn towards suffering and pain in the world within ourselves to heal, it turns into devotion. It just does. It's kind of inevitable. So that's my 2 cents on devotion and psychotherapy. And I go into much more detail and kind of what it means to be a psychotherapist. Like, how do we kind of look at this and be with this concept while providing care in the video that I'll link. Thank you as always for your time and attention, dare I say devotion, to this topic, and I look forward to any questions that you may have.